It's August. The sun is shining on the home of British motorsport at Silverstone, and the Audi UK team are once again getting ready to race. Their season has taken them to the States and continental Europe, but this is the one and only opportunity they have to shine in front of family, friends and home fans. The Le Mans Endurance Series is delicately poised. Both cars have delivered a win and a second place. Both cars have 18 points and both are comfortably ahead of the Japanese Go Audi with 11. Pierre and Alan were dominant in Germany at the Nürburgring a month ago, leaving Johnny and Jamie with something to prove this weekend on what they consider to be their home track.
We need to come here, have a good ding-dong and a good battle, but the race win is the most important thing. So as long as we can get the car to handle as we want it, then I think we should, you know, we're going to be in with an equal chance of winning the race.
I mean, we have only two races left, so it would be a big chance for us to win the championship if we can do a victory here.
Britain has a wealth of historical race circuits, but over the years, Silverstone has established itself as the spiritual home of British motorsport.
Silverstone grew from being a wartime airfield to being a motor racing circuit in 1948. And since then, it really has become the home of British motorsport. It's one of the fastest of all Grand Prix circuits, and it's beautifully suited to sports cars as well. Everybody who's anybody in sports car racing through the history of the sport has done their bit here, starting with Stirling Moss with Jaguar in the 1950s. Derek Bell did lots of winning here with sports cars. Now it's this generation.
Jamie has always known that he's able to mix it with the best, and he knows the challenging corners of the Silverstone track like the back of his hand.
You're coming out of left field to start the lap, and you're up at fifth gear in about pretty much sort of halfway along this pit straight now. You're going up to sixth gear before you get to Copse. You just turn in with confidence, and you want to try and get it as closer onto this curve as possible because there's a little bit more grip. Back up to sixth gear, coming down to the first part of Beckett's now. You have to be quite aggressive through this section, really grab the car hold and push it quite hard through here.
And then you're coming down to another of the classic corners, coming down to Stowe.
It's one of those corners where you're approaching in sixth and then you just throw it into the corner almost. Try and pick the throttle up as soon as possible. It's a good corner actually. We're coming out of club here, out of the right hand. You want to try and get the car back as far to the right as possible for entry into Priory. You go right up onto the curbing, use as much as possible. You're just accelerating up. You're in fifth gear at the moment. You're changing to sixth. Just as we're coming under the Audi gantry here, you're getting up to sixth gear and then ready to start another lap again.
The team have had a few weeks' break since the draining races at Le Mans and the Nürburgring. Now they have to refocus and make sure they're right on the pace.
There's a fair amount of work to do with the car. We've done 2 sessions so far. We've been very quick. We've been pipped by the Zytek. The Creation is again up there banging on the door, so there's a good five car battle.
Pit lane will open in 2 minutes.
It all starts in earnest with qualifying. The R8 has never raced at Silverstone before, and both crews have to work hard on setting the car up, but they also want to be on the front row of the grid. Alan and Johnny are biding their time, waiting for the right opening to set a quick time. But the initiative is taken away from them when Robbie Kerr sets a blisteringly fast lap in the Zytek.
The 22 car with Robbie Kerr driving it. First lap was 34.0, second lap 34.5. I don't know if I've got a response for that.
It puts them comfortably on pole, almost a second and a half quicker than the Audis.
Johnny Herbert hasn't been a second and a half slower than anybody ever. It's as simple as that. This one is not in the bag. There's going to be a lot of fighting over the next 1,000 kilometres or 6 hours, whichever comes the quickest. I'm not making any predictions. The mortgage is staying exactly where it is.
Robbie Kerr, young ex-Formula 3 champion. He's managed to get used to the traffic and things that he's never, the things he's not done before. Basically, he's driven a sports car, driven in traffic, and driven long stints, and he seems to have adapted very well.
Both engineers know they won't catch him, so they turn their attention to qualifying Pierre and Jamie and setting the cars up to challenge the Zytek over the entire 1,000 kilometres of the race.
Lap, Jamie, pit this lap. Come in fast, please. In fast.
The 8 car secures third on the grid, behind the 88 car. But Johnny and Jamie are concerned that the car is still feeling unbalanced. Every minute of setup time is precious, and it is lost to them when Jamie clashes with a slower car and spins out, leaving the suspension requiring a major repair.
Went through and then he just turned in.
Race day dawns and the Brits swarm in. It's a long time since sports cars have raced at Silverstone, and the fans that flock to Le Mans each year have now come here to see the cars and the drivers.
It's going to be busy. It's going to be 5 hours of fast and furious action. If you're an F1 driver and you're used to following around in a procession, this is not for you. You're going to have to be cut and thrust fast and furious right here, I'm telling you.
The team remains focused on the job in hand. After his exuberant win in Germany, Pierre is going to start in the 8 car. Jamie will start in the 88, behind Robbie Kerr in the Zytek.
We refuel and we go to grid, then you drive like grandma. Just nod your head even though you're looking at all those girls. Grandma is Greek. Not your grandma, my grandma. Okay, Pierre, off you go. All right, mate. Fire it up. Okay, Pierre, let's go to map 1, please. Map 1. You're going green, you're going green.
The Zytek starts quickly. It's imperative that the Audis stay in touch over the first few laps so that they are ready to exploit any advantage that might come their way when they start to encounter traffic. Kerr isn't used to racing sports cars, and the hope is that he'll struggle to adjust to the demands of constantly overtaking slower cars. Pierre moves past Jamie to take second. The gap to the Zytek grows alarmingly quickly, but then it settles at about 6 seconds.
Let's keep it up. At the moment, you're 6.2 seconds behind Kerr. I think I can see the Zytek. Firm, Zytek is the car in front of you. 5.7 seconds, you are behind. That's Jamie. Jamie 5.5 behind. Jamie's 5.5 behind now.
The first pit stops are imminent.
Zytek will pit this lap. Coming in this lap.
Zytek pit, 88 pit on the same lap.
Watch me, Jamie, just watch me.
The 88 crew are quicker and leave the pits right on their tail.
Fuel reserve off, Jamie, fuel reserve off. Box, Pierre, pit confirm, please.
Pierre pits a lap later. The crew make the most of the advantage and put him back out in the lead.
Just going to be fuel only, be nice and quick. About 10 seconds, Pierre, about 10 seconds. The Zytek should be behind you. The Zytek is closing, Pierre, Zytek is closing. Really bad traffic.
The lead is small, and Zytek quickly closed back up on Pierre to retake the lead. But he's not too worried.
Don't worry, there's a long way to go. There's a long way to go. Hey, I'm not worried. About what? Exactly, about what?
After just over an hour of running, Robbie Kerr makes a mistake with a slower car. He's forced into the pits, and Pierre is more than happy to exploit the advantage and take the lead.
P1, Pierre, P1. Zytek is in the box. Okie dokie dokie dokie.
Once again, Pierre proves just how quick he is in the R8s and how much he's learnt in the course of the season. By the time he hands over to Alan, he's drawn out a 30-second advantage over Jamie.
Go, 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 go.
I was pretty busy in the traffic. Sometimes it's really difficult to overtake here, but I love sports car race and I like it.
Alan and Johnny are now poised to resume their rivalry, but the battle is unequal.
Probably one of the most frustrating stints I've done in the Audi this year, I'd imagine, but you had to just try and keep her head down and still push as hard as possible.
It's not long before Alan has made up enough ground to lap Johnny. As the race runs into the early evening, race strategy really comes into play. 88 will need to stop for a bit more fuel. No one knows exactly what Go's strategy will be, but they are in third and closing fast. Chris tries to gain an early advantage and calls Johnny in for a quick stop for fuel, a splash and dash. They resume in third place. Now it's a waiting game to see what Go will do. Finally, Go stop for their own splash and dash, but they've already gained enough time to retain second place. In a last-ditch attempt to improve the handling of the car, Chris calls Johnny in for fresh tyres. But it's too late. The 8 car wins in emphatic style, over a lap clear of the field. Go take a valuable second, picking up 8 points and moving closer in the overall standings.
You see the man with the checkered flag? Absolutely brilliant. Fantastic driving. Done, everybody. Number 1, not bad. Somebody better poke Marmite.
The scene is now set for the final race of the season at Spa. The crew on 88 are hugely disappointed, and they know they have their work cut out if they are to really challenge the 8 car, who only have to finish 3rd at Spa to claim the championship.
To win by over a lap and nearly a minute as well, it showed that we had a very dominant performance today.
I'm looking forward to tonight. I'll look forward to Spa tomorrow morning. I'll celebrate tonight first.
Spa is a small town tucked among the woods and the hills of the Ardennes region in Belgium. A full 10 months after the team first gathered at Road Atlanta in Georgia, they are together again for the final race of the season. The 8 car of Alan and Pierre go into the final round of the Le Mans Endurance Series in a quietly confident mood. They had a good win at Silverstone and head the 88 car by 4 points. They only have to finish on the podium here to secure the championship, but they also know that anything can happen.
Personally, my feeling is that this is the same as any other race. It's got 10 points at the end of it if we win. If we win the race, we win the championship anyway. So let's not try and think about too many scenarios, ifs and buts. Let's just do our job as we've done up till now, which I think we've done pretty successfully. Keep our focus, and then the result will come from there.
I try all the years to win the championship, but always something happens, technical problems, I make the mistake, or someone hit me in the race. And now I think it's time to win the championship.
The 88 car are trying to keep focused and pushing forward, but they're concerned about the balance in the car, and their poor race at Silverstone has left them knowing they have it all to do.
At the moment it's been frustrating, but we've just got to do the best we can, and hopefully we have a car that's good enough to do it in the race.
Can't afford to relax yet because there is still competition, and you know, we just do the best that we can really, and hopefully that will, you know, then put us into a good position at the end for the team and for the championship.
But the mood of the team as a whole is buoyant. Everyone likes being at Spa. It's one of the oldest tracks in Europe and a fitting location for the end of season finale.
Spa is one of the great circuits in the world. It's one of the great original road circuits, and endurance racing has always been a huge thing at Spa. The 1000K race has been running since the 1960s, and you can see by the crowds here it's a huge tradition, and people love this kind of racing here. It's perfect for the final race of any series, but especially this series, because sports cars here are very, very special.
Alan raced here during his F1 days and is happy to be back with the car that can really take on the challenge.
Now coming out of La Source and down the hill, we're going up the gears, up into 6th gear. The road feels it's getting narrow, you get close to the wall on the right-hand side, and then at a blind point you take an entry into it, and the car just suddenly gets pushed right down into the ground, and then suddenly at the top of the hill it springs light, to the point that the actual steering, when it's loaded coming through there, goes solid for a split second, and then it'll release, and it feels like two different cars in about a 10-metre distance. Well, this is complex. It breaks uphill into Les Combes, and you bang down the gears to 3rd, and then you have to hit this curb on the inside. Then there's immediately a change of direction and into the downhill right, and now we're into the technical part where you need a good balance and you need a good feel to get lap time. Then we get into the chicane. I love it because you can attack, you brake so deep all the way into the apex, and then after that, immediately you have to try and change direction and then allow the car to run out to the outside.
But that's much more of a real corner than most chicanes, isn't it?
That's a real chicane. No, that is a real chicane. And then braking into the new bus stop, which, for me, it's not the real deal. You sort of brake, turn right, and then you get into this little silly section where the car slips and slides around. The old one was a piff-paff, left-right, and it was all on its toes. But, you know, the powers that be felt that that was a little bit better for whatever reason, but I'm sure they've never driven a racing car.
Finally up to La Source, the hairpin.
You're down 4 gears, and the rear of the car is actually locking. and then you've got to get it in. But if you make a mistake, you slide wide and you ruin your acceleration all the way down the hill. If you get it right, it's perfect. And then you accelerate off, and hopefully you've got a good lap time.
On Friday, the team start the first of 2 practice sessions. 88 are focusing entirely on trying to achieve a setup that will ensure they have a consistent race pace.
Radio check, Jamie. Radio check.
8 are essentially happy with their car and eager for qualifying to start.
2 time laps.
The lead changes constantly in the first qualifying session. Jamie and Pierre exchanging P1 and 2 between them.
No.
Davis is on also on a slightly better lap than you are on.
It's hard to get a clear lap here where the traffic is particularly hard to negotiate, but occasionally it all comes together.
Good lap, you're up all the way to the traffic, well done. P1 plus 1 point something seconds. Good effort, very good.
Really enjoyable today. I like to drive at a track with a challenge for every driver. It's really nice.
In the afternoon, it's the turn of the big boys. Alan hasn't managed to land a pole position yet this season, and he'd love to do it here.
1 minute, Alan, 1 minute. 2 or 3 time laps out, please. Just keep pushing, keep pushing. About 3/10 off P1, you are P3 at the moment. P3, about 3/10 off P1. It was a good lap, mate, good lap. I think you can do it. Pretty sure you can do it. You're still on the pole, Alan. You betted your time by 10th. And the times are okay, it's not an issue with that.
As he pits, Alan thinks he's done enough. But once again, creation spoil the party, and Nicholas Minassian sneaks pole position as the session closes. For Johnny, the crucial thing is finding a consistent balance in the car, and despite being third on the grid, he's still a little concerned.
I'm just concerned that we've got a similar problem that we've had in the last 2 races, which is it's been big understeer. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope it's all okay. So we'll see exactly what it does in the race.
Sunday is race day. The local fans turn up in their droves to watch the spectacle, while the team are keeping a close eye on the clouds that are gathering above. For the final time, the cars take their places on the grid. The routine is now familiar to Pierre, but this time the weight of expectation is greater. The championship is now at stake.
H, what does the weatherman say? Radar is clear.
For Johnny, it is simply a case of putting the 88 car in the best position to exploit any opportunities that might come his way.
1 minute, Pierre. Go, go, go.
The cars roll off. The team wait. They simply have to watch as the drama unfolds before them, and it begins at the very first run through Eau Rouge. Pierre touches the Creation car, but escapes without any damage. Creation are less lucky and suffer a puncture that leaves them limping back to the pits. Moments later, and the 2 UK cars also come together. Pierre is forced onto the grass, and both cars lose out as Go pinch the lead.
Everything's okay?
This was just a snow. Easy in the brakes. I'm tired.
It's not exactly the start that everybody wanted, and it certainly does nothing to settle the nerves. But both cars are running well, and it's not long before Pierre is reeling in Capello in the Go car.
You're the fastest man in the first sector, Pierre. I think you're braver than him through Eau Rouge.
He takes his time, draws closer every lap, and then makes his move, sneaking past to take the lead.
Overtook him.
That's very well done. That lap, Herbert was the fastest on the circuit.
It doesn't last for long. An accident brings out yellow flags and the safety car. The safety car has joined the field in front of Johnny in the third place 88 car, effectively putting him a lap down on the 2 leaders.
Step before, lovely. Just perfect.
The odds that were stacked against them have just got even bigger.
They've picked Johnny up. They're going to let the other 2 catch up to the back of the train, so they've got a lap on us. You're going to have to sort that out. I mean, that's just not on.
The race restarts. Pierre focuses again on drawing up to the Go car. He's on the far side of the circuit, out of sight of the television cameras when the radio alerts everyone to a disaster that is unfolding.
He hits me.
Pierre is hit by a Ferrari, sending him careering across the track and into the path of a TVR. He smashes into the barriers, and the impact causes the engine to ignite.
Pierre, what's going on?
I'm fire. I'm burning.
Hey boys, come pit lane.
Engulfed in flames, Pierre drives into the pits, desperately hoping the crew can save the car.
No break, no break.
But the cold, hard, unpalatable truth sinks in. The race is over for the 8 car.
Boys, it's over. We have to change the engine, everything.
The fate of the championship now lies in the hands of Johnny and Jamie in the 88 car. There are still 5 hours of the race to run, and although they're leading the Go car now, it's a close-run thing.
I can't see a thing. I need tyres.
A heavy rain shower has hit the circuit, and Johnny pits to change to intermediate tyres.
Yeah, we're going to fuel and tyres. Fuel and tyres. Set 281.
It's a risk. If the rain doesn't stop, he will be at a disadvantage because Go have changed to wets. The rain continues to fall. Go draw closer. Then the rain slackens off, the racing line dries, and Johnny pulls away.
Okay, hit this flat.
Halfway through the race, Johnny hands over to Jamie.
Driver change, remember driver change. Gen 6, Gen.
The gap to the Go car is now nearly a lap. Jamie just has to stay focused and bring the car safely home. As the race moves into its final hour, Go pit just ahead of the 88 car. The crew work fast. The cars leave together. Jamie takes Capello on the first corner. The lead is now over a lap, and there's only an hour left to run.
Great job, well done, boys.
The hard work has been done. The team have delivered more than has been asked of them, and they have the opportunity to really enjoy their moment of success as the 88 car crosses the line in front, taking the checkered flag to win the final race and the Le Mans Endurance Series. The 8 car team have finished second in the championship, and they do their best to join in the celebrations, but there's still a huge sense of what might have been.
It's one of those things that you have to try and rationalise, but at this moment in time, you know, my stomach's pretty empty.
You've got to be there to win, and we were there and we won. So I'm happy for Jamie. It was great that he actually went across the line for us to win the race and the championship. So it's fantastic.
It's the 50th win for the R8 out of 60 starts, making it the most successful Le Mans prototype ever.
Now, 4 hours later, it's pretty odd.
We've got first and second in the championship, the first year of the championship, coinciding with the 50th win of an Audi R8. It's pretty well perfect.
The season has come to an abrupt and dramatic end. It's been a roller coaster of a ride, with highs and lows for everyone. From Sebring to Spa, via Monza, Le Mans, the Nürburgring and Silverstone, it's never been less than eventful.
Sorry about this. Bit of a mess.
Endurance racing is about so much more than cars circulating a track. It's about teamwork, trust, leadership and inspiration. It's about talent, commitment and never saying die.